So I'm just going to I'll re-say that one more time. So ladies and gentlemen, they give us sine of 60 degrees, and they give us cosine of 60 degrees equals 1/2. Then they ask us to find the tangent. So what I go back to is I think about how is the tangent related to sine and cosine. If I go back to looking at my unit circle, when I was talking about sine and cosines, we talked about that when you're given a point on the unit circle, we said that the sine of that point was equal to the y-coordinate. And we said the cosine of that point was equal to the x-coordinate. And the tangent of that point was equal to the y-coordinate over the x-coordinate. So if I plug in sine of t in for y and cosine of t in for x, I can say that tan of t is equal to sine of t over cosine of t. So if I'm asking you for, instead of t, I'm saying what is the cosine of 60 degrees, I can say that's the same thing as the sine of 60 degrees over the cosine of 60 degrees. Do you guys agree? So the sine of 60 degrees is square root of 3 over 2 over the sine of 60 degrees, which is 1/2. So I could either multiply by the reciprocals, or I can just simply reduce this down to square root of 3. Okay? Now the next one is, all right, so if I have tangent of 60 degrees, now let's see if we can figure out what cotangent of 60 degrees. Well, how is cotangent related to tangent? Remember, it's the reciprocal, right? So if tangent is sine of 60 over cosine of 60, cotangent is going to be cosine of 60 degrees over sine of 60 degrees. So cosine, so now I'm going to have 1/2 over square root of 3 over 2. So now I get, those divide to 1, and now I get 1 over square root of 3. So I have to rationalize the denominator. So I get square root of 3 over 3. All right, a little bit. So now we're looking, but now for our last two questions, I have sine of 30 degrees and the cosine of 30 degrees. All right? And what we have is we have a little difficulty because we haven't talked anything about, we know if you have 60s and cosines how they relate, but what do we do when we have 30 degrees? What is this going to represent? Well, it's close, but if you think about it, 30 plus 60 add up to what? 90. And do you remember doing something when we had degrees with 90 and you minused it by another angle? Right, so you could say, so by using your cofunction identities, sine of 30 degrees is equal to the what? Sine of 30 degrees is equal to, well, yes, so it's cosine of 90 minus 30, which is 60. So you could say this is equal to cosine of 60 degrees. And the cosine of 30 degrees is equal to the sine of 90 minus 30, which is the sine of 60. So what's the cosine of 60 degrees? What's the sine of 60 degrees? There you go. Done. Isn't that amazing? Kind of. Wow, that wasn't the response I wanted.